Imagine this. Members of a tribe want to use a new plot of land for different purposes. One group wants to use it as farmland, and the other group wants to use it to herd sheep. So what do? They argue. They debate to see which group can generate the most support for their plan. This then leads to tension between the two groups, which ultimately leads to violence between the two factions. But what if there didn't need to be tension between the two groups? What if there was another way to settle their differences? That's exactly what the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island developed. An innovative way of settling differences and gathering people into a collective group that could cooperate. The way they did this was by building giant structures, the famous Moai of the island. But how could these monument constructions build cooperation between the people? Let's talk about the Moai first. These Moai are giant structures that have perplexed anthropologists and historians for decades. Now, how did the people of the island develop these huge structures with their limited technology and resources? How did they create so many structures and then line them up on the island? That's exactly what Dr. Lipo discussed with us in his lecture about the Rapa Nui and their structures. His research has shown that the Rapa Nui people have developed techniques unique to their island that helped create these structures. He showed us the techniques by which the structures were built and moved, and I gotta say, it was amazing. Here's a clip of how these structures were moved. You can see here that the displacement of the statues was in fact a group effort, and this is exactly what Carl said was the most interesting aspect of the prehistoric Rapa Nui culture. The creation of these collective cooperative builds is a unique aspect of Easter Island. Now, because the island is so small, roughly 63 square miles around, with such a small population, it was important for the people of the island to get along. Let's say if something happened on the island, then everyone would know about it and be involved. This small size and shared resources meant that cooperation was actually more beneficial than competition. Working together helped the people survive longer than competing would have. Moai construction was a way of channeling competition to a sport without the consequences of direct conflict. The Rapa Nui people were able to control competition in their populations using Moai construction. But would this technique have worked on a larger scale? Carl compared the construction of Moai to modern sports. This is an interesting way of seeing the construction because it puts into context exactly why this might have been done. Sports have always been used to create bonds between people as a way of connecting over a shared interest. Community building exercises work in the same way. They help create a unified people based on common goals. In this way, I think having a common goal or interest may be the best way of forming groups and creating bonds between individuals. The Rapa Nui just had a unique way of doing that.